When I left, my plug, he got nabbed by the FBI. I'm talking about a week after I left. So you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like I'm in Texas a week later, like where's Jay?
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Demetris Ford here with another episode of Through the Line. Not only are the people that are great at starting, but we are talking about people who are great at finishing through that line in anything that they do in life. I have a very special guest right here in front of me. A guy that came from nothing and turned nothing to something and is still turning that something to something even better. I have the owner of Miller Storm and General Construction here right in front of my face. Everybody welcome Mr. Jay Miller himself.
Hey,
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jay. How you feeling today, big dog?
I'm feeling great, man. Pushing through a little bit of back pain. My trainer today, he had me doing squat cleans, I think you call them, right, where you catch the bar.
Yes,
and
sir.
I caught the bar on like the second one, threw my back out, but I'm feeling good.
Hey, man.
A little bit about me. So 2016, I got introduced to roofing.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a bunch of 22, 23-year-old kids in the office wearing Louis Vuitton, Gucci loafers, talking about real estate investments and cryptocurrency, and I had never seen anything like that. I remember the one thing that gave me belief in roofing was I remember that this kid, he sold a commercial roof, and I remember them cutting him his commission, and it was $52,000. And I was like, "You made $52,000 off of one roof?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "What the fuck?" Like, because at the time, when you're at zero, I would have took $5,000.
Like 2,000 is good.
There was a lot of things. There was a lot of things at this company that made me believe that it was real. And then you fast forward to 2020. We started Miller Storm in 2020. We got the office the first day of the COVID lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the door knocking industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so. That was actually the best year. I talk about it all the time. I'm like, COVID was the best year because the biggest complaint you always hear from guys that knock doors is what? And no one's home, right? No one's home. I keep knocking doors. No one's home. No one's home. Well, in COVID, everybody was home. So if you weren't selling back then, right? Like, you had a pitch problem or a closing problem, right? And that's never what I had. So that year was one of my personal best years doing sales. And then fast forward to 2026, right? Like now, we're projected to do around 26 million this year in revenue. Yeah. We have a team of about 50 to 60 sales guys, give or take. You know how that bottom row just kind of rotates.
Exactly.
But it's been a crazy journey, man, and I couldn't be more grateful.
That's amazing to hear, man. And man, it's always an honor to even be able to be in the same room as you.
Appreciate that.
Man, respect the grind, respect the hustle, but most of all, man, you gotta glorify past. Yeah. I think of it as glorified, right? Mm-hmm. Everything that comes to be anything great in life comes from a lot of scars to be able to tell the characteristics of a person and a human being. You're talking about growing a company from 0 to 26 million revenue, and you're looking at 4 or 5 years, right? That's an amazing thing to do, and congratulations to you and the team.
Thank you.
So let's rewind. Let's fresh start. Let's go into Jay Miller.
Yeah.
Okay. Who is Jay Miller? What failures today made you Jay Miller?
Oh my gosh. Wow, man, it's a collection of failures, I think. So I grew up in New York, New Jersey area. And I grew up in a predominantly Hispanic, Black neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
And so I stood out, and I always wanted the respect of everybody in the neighborhood. And I knew who got the respect, right? It was the guys that, had did some time, right? You had to do some time. You had to be making some money. You had to be driving a car. I was looking up to all the wrong things. My mom was she was a single mom. I don't have any siblings. So she worked a lot. So I was open to a lot of influence. Yeah. You're just sitting there, right? We didn't have phones back then either, right? It was go outside, right? Yeah. And so what was outside, what was outside, right?
Yeah.
I got hooked up into that game for a really long time in my life. I went in and out of jail. I can't remember a time I wasn't on probation. So I was about 29 years old. Crazy story was, so I was doing all the wrong things out there. my mom was like, I can't watch you destroy your life. Like, you know, people were dying around me, going to jail, going to prison. Like, it was really crazy. Like, and she knew I was next, and she didn't want to watch it.
Yeah.
And so, in 2012, she moved to Texas, right? And she went to go live with my aunt who lived in South Lake. So you know where South Lake's at, right? And so, and while my mom was out here, she had a heart attack. And so that's like my only family member, right?
Yeah.
And so like, I'm like, oh shit, like, I'm like, so I come out here to Texas, you know? I'm like, well, really to check on my mom. I was really like coming out here, like, I was really gonna post up for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, and then shoot back up north.
Yeah, I was doing the whole back and forth, trying to make it work. During this back and forth, I ended up getting a girl pregnant out here. Yeah. Which is divine intervention. You know.
Hey, the way that it happens. You know, every road is not always going to be a clear shot to where you need to be, right? So I mean, you get the girl pregnant.
Yeah.
Now you're locked into the space.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna get it. I was like, I'm done with this life. Like I was done with the hustling life.
Yeah.
Like I was done. I told everybody I was done. And what was crazy was that when I left, my plug, you know,
Is that
he got nabbed by the FBI. Like I'm talking about a week after I left. So you know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Like I'm in Texas a week later, all this shit goes down.
reading about it, seeing it?
Like where's Jay?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it looks like I did that, but I was like, I had nothing to do with it.
you
I
had
just
nothing to do with
now
it.
had I been there, that would have been my destiny, right?
Exactly.
So I get saved there. So I'm working 2 jobs. I was working at Einstein Bagels and Costco. I was living at my aunt's house over here, and I really was just on the cool. I was trying to stay low. I was like, because I'm like, if they did all of that and they got this, right? I'm like, oh, they're good. If they find me, it's a wrap, right? And I'm like, okay, so I'm just trying to work 2 jobs, just trying to be legit, whatever. My son was born, which was a very pivotal moment in my life. You know, you have a son as well, right? It changes you. It really changes you. It was a very like mind-opening experience, but it wasn't done, right? I wasn't done. Then I started to think to myself, well, if I could figure out the game that I was doing up north, right, and I could bring it down here, I could really provide for my son.
Exactly.
Right? Like that was what went through my head.
Yeah.
And that's what I did, right? And so I started running that whole game, everything that I was doing up north, right? It's not where you are, it's where you're at, right?
Yeah,
and where you're from, it's where you're at. And so I started running this game. I started getting things shipped from up north, getting them shipped out here. Like I had a whole play going. And in 2015, I got nabbed up. Not as bad as it could have been, but I had to do some time for that. And so in the middle of this, right, there's a critical spot here. My son's mom left at 2 years old. Okay, so he was 2. All right, so I had him for about a year, and I ended up winning full custody of him. Okay. Now, you got to understand from my perspective, I didn't have a father. So my whole entire life was, I was like, there's no way you would ever catch me without my kids.
Exactly.
Like, I just couldn't understand it, right?
Yeah.
I would never abandon my kids. Like, I would be there on the weekends, I bike. Like, I'm going to be around, bro. There's no way you're never going to see me. It just never made sense. So anyway, so I had full custody of him, and then I get incarcerated.
So what goes through your mind at that point? Like how do you even process those thoughts about what's going down and what's going to even happen to your kid?
Luckily, man, my mom was here, right? So my mom was able to get him out of foster care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the whole time, and it was crazy. I was listening to this podcast, man. This dude went to prison, and he was talking the same stuff. He's like, when all the distractions get removed, and everything gets removed and it gets quiet, like, because that's really what jail is, right? I mean, granted, there's people everywhere, but like when you're in your cell and there's no distraction, you don't have a phone, you don't have TV, you know what I mean? There's nothing like, you know, It's you and your own thoughts. You start to really figure shit out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You start to almost like write out. Like you feel it in your heart. Like I felt it in my heart at that moment. I was like, I'm gonna fucking change my life. Exactly. I was so upset that I was even in this situation, like that I was, you know, living this out. Yeah. Like I was like, how? Like, you know, because especially those places, man, you look around like you're like, bruh, how am I here with you? Yeah. You know, you what they show you on TV and what it is, it's just different, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, man, did my time, man, and I got out in September 2016. I ended up when I got out, my mom let me go stay at her apartment, but while I was incarcerated, they wouldn't. So part of me signing over my rights to my mom is that because I had now a background and because it was drug related, I couldn't go back to my mom's house. But where am I gonna go?
Yeah.
So my mom tried to let me stay there for a few days, you know, and I had to go to like Narcotics Anonymous meetings, and I had to go to these outpatients and stuff like that. Yeah, you had to make sure you was good on the Yeah, I had to do all the classes and stuff, and so I was there for maybe a week, right? And I was going to this, and in this meeting, I remember I was sitting next to this guy, and this is how I get introduced to roofing. Fucking guy, he's sitting there, he's got Yeezys on. I look over, the outpatient told me I had to get a sponsor, right? And I had no idea what a sponsor was at the time. But I'm thinking sponsorship, right? Like I'm thinking like somebody gonna help me.
There's somebody fund my life.
I was like, I know the people that can help me, right? And so I look over, I see dude with the Rolex, the Yeezys. I'm like, okay, you gotta smell good. I'm like, you know, you could tell somebody winning, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, at the end of the meeting, I tap him. I'm like, hey, will you sponsor me? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool. I was like, so what does this all thing look like? And he's like, oh yeah, you know, just come to my house, blah, blah, blah. So he invites me to his house, but the day he invites me to his house is the day I get kicked out of my mom's. My mom's was like, hey, I gotta drop you off in Fort Worth. You can't be here. CPS is coming here. You know what I mean? If they see any of your stuff or anything like that, like we're gonna risk Elijah getting taken away. Like I gotta take you downtown to Fort Worth. Well, I go downtown to Fort Worth, and she brings me to a homeless shelter, right? And I'm like,
you're like, really?
I'm like, bruh.
Like, ain't no way.
I'm like, did shit really get this bad? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, man, I really fucked my life up, dude. So like, I call the dude. I'm like, hey, man, I appreciate you trying to sponsor me. Like, blah blah blah. Like, hey, I'm not gonna make it, you know, I gotta go check into this Union Gospel mission. And the dude was like, dude, come to my house. Can you not just get a ride to my house? And I'm like, so something I didn't want to do was call my ex-girlfriend, right? But I was like, my mom was dropping me off, so I called her and I was like, hey, I'm gonna only ask for one thing only. Can you just give me a ride from here to there, right? And she was like, yeah. So she drops me off at his house, brings me to his house. He lives on Eagle Mountain Lake. Bro, dude, I thought he lived. I've never pulled up to a house like this. Yeah. It had a gate. I pull in. There's 2 Lamborghinis. I'm like, who the fuck is this? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and then he starts telling me about roofing, right? Yeah. And I'm like, you know, and so there the story goes. But then he puts me in a motel, right? So I'm like, look, dude, here's the deal. I'll come work for you. But I was like, bro, I had 2 boxes. I had 2 boxes of clothes. I had 3 shirts, 2 shorts. Like, it was just a mishmash of stuff, right? Like maybe some deodorant, a toothbrush. It was just stuff I threw in there. And he was like, he goes, all right, well, I could put you in the motel by the office. And I was like, okay, cool. He's like, we got a sales meeting. You know, there's places you can walk there. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I get an Uber down there. I go to the motel. And now while I'm at the motel, I would walk to the office. Yeah. And people would see me like I would walk to the gym because I was still like kind of incarcerated. Exactly. So there was a $10 gym. Yep. So I signed up, but I had some money. Like it wasn't like I was broke. You know what I mean? I was just.
But you had the budget smart.
Yeah, I was like, I gave him $10. You know, it was a $10 gym. I would go to the gym. I would shower there, and then I would walk to the office. And and there's so much to that story, dude. I could take up this whole podcast, bro. But I think it's just God's divine. And like I really believe, man. when you want to get somewhere and you are on a fucking mission, you know what I mean? Like you can tell, you can look in someone's eyes and you're like, oh, this motherfucker's for real. Like I see it in my sales guys. Like, you know what I mean? There's these little moments where I'm like, yeah, he's serious.
Yeah.
Like this guy's really gonna run it up.
Absolutely.
Like this guy's he's just fucking $1.5, $2 million.
He's gonna figure it out.
Yeah. You got this eye.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And all I needed to see was that, the Lamborghinis, this. Like I was like, I was like, all right, all this is real, legit. Okay, let's go.
I can do it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Man, that's a phenomenal story. And I really hope a lot of people hear this, because I think a lot of times people handicap and crutch their outcomes based off the cards that they're dealt.
Yeah.
And it's not truly the cards that you're dealt. You just gotta understand how to play that hand.
Absolutely.
Right.
1000%.
And man, a lot of people are like so confused in life because they feel like they don't have enough.
Yep.
And a lot of times life is the best and you have more clarity when you have nothing at all.
Yes.
So whenever you're talking about the isolation moments, the times where you got nothing, you're at bottom ground. So if you fall, it doesn't really hurt.
No.
Right? But as you're talking about getting all these things and having all these things, if you fall then, it's going to hurt you. Don't. It's going to mess everything up.
Just keep looking up.
Yep, exactly. So, man, you're coming out of all these things, and I want people to know how you talk to yourself. Where's your personality within Jay Miller? How do you gain the confidence that you've gained to say, I'm not going to fail, right? Is it something that, can you gain confidence talking about it, or do you have to do things to be able to gain confidence personally about yourself?
Yeah, I think it's the tape you play in your head, right? Like it's that tape, like it's that Rocky tape. It's that just I like this is scary, but I'm gonna do it. Like I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? I grew up in a scary area, so like it was like,
so you're not really scared of much.
You always stepped into that, right? But like even people like I talk to people who maybe aren't even from that background, and I'm like, just keep taking the step that's the scariest.
Yeah,
like because if you're not scared all the fucking time, like because that's really what it is. Yeah. Like when I look back, it's like when you're scared, all of a sudden. It's like you've got this adrenaline that's like, I'm going to make the most the best decision
laser
right
focus.
now. I'm laser focused. Like all of this stuff doesn't matter. Like I got to put the target right here and this is where I'm going, right? Like, but you have to decide.
Yeah.
You know, I tell my sales guys all the time, I'm like, bro, I love that you brought this up. I tell my sales guys, I'm like, bro, the only thing that I think is the biggest difference maker between people who are broke and people who are successful is belief. Like some people do not believe they should be successful.
They hoped.
They hope. That's not what I meant.
Hope is not belief. Hope is not belief. Man, hey, it's a big difference. A lot of people, man, I hope things happen for him. I hope, and this and that. You gotta truly believe to be able to make things happen. Yep. And that's why I think a lot of people feel like they manifest and their manifestations fall short. Is because you can't have a manifestation without belief. Yep. Manifestations aren't ran off hope. Nope. So let me ask you this. What relationship do you have with yourself?
I have a really crazy relationship with myself, man. Like, I've got probably 20 voices up there.
Because I mean you're doing a lot. You got a team, correct me if I'm wrong. You got 50 guys. Yeah. 50 plus guys within your company that you have to pour into. And I understand that can get draining. Yeah. Right? Especially whenever plays that you come with aren't being ran correctly. Yeah. It's like you're a coach. Yeah. And you're pouring into a lot of cups. So your personal cup, your relationship you have with yourself, Jay Miller, how does that look?
Yeah, I mean, so I think so my morning time is always for me. Like, I get up at 4:15, 4:30 every morning. 4:30 to 7:15 is mine. Yeah. Like those 3 hours are mine. Like you can't take that from me. Yeah. Like that's my time to get right with myself, to get right with my physical, my physique, right? Get right spiritually, get right mentally, right? Like I put my son on this little program too, right? Like I'm in the car, I get in, he's like, sometimes I'm listening to E.T., right? And he's like, and he's like, talking, like, and he gets me hyped, right? And then I get out, get in the gym, work out. Like, I know that I need my cup filled, but I don't need to know E.T. for him to fill my cup, right? Like, I just know the guys that speak to my soul, and I can get them now with like my phone. You know what I mean? I can get Tony Robbins in my car right now. Just look,
you gotta call him.
Nah,
you gotta have a number.
Exactly, and I put those people that I believe are great leaders, right? I put them in the car with me to speak into me. Speak life into me. Speak life into me, so I could speak life into others, man. Because we talk about you got to fill your cup first, man. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly.
And that's why my mornings are so I will not sacrifice them, and they're so just important to me. My wife knows. I'm like, dude,
don't distract me. This is my time.
After 7:15, I could do the kids. I could do all this stuff, like all the things that we got to do, right? But like I got to lock in. You know what I mean? Or I'm.
And that's very vital to be able to have a successful ran business like you have, because a lot of businesses don't fail because of the system or the work. They fail because of the incapability of the leader being able to control the outside noises.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about running a whole entire operation that you have your systems. And if you're not centered mentally within yourself, the head of the snake is going to be cut, and it's not going to have any direction or where to go.
Right.
Right. So you're doing the right things when it comes down to being able to grow and run a very successful business. Another question I got is how do you build discipline?
How do I build discipline, man? Is I've been doing the same thing for a really long time.
So what would you say discipline is in your
discipline
in your,
is doing what you said you were going to do regardless of how you feel. That's discipline, right? So if I said I was going to get up at 4:15, I get up at 4:15. Whether some mornings I get up and it's easy. Some days are hard, right? Yeah. But regardless of how I feel, I do these things every single day.
So do you feel, in order to be successful at anything in life, that you do have to have discipline?
1,000%. There's no question. You couldn't point at somebody that's successful and they don't have discipline.
I mean, you've seen a lot of people come in and out of your company. What was the main thing that they were lacking?
Ooh. There's a main thing.
the main if you had to look at the board,
the main thing I would say is belief.
Yeah.
I really go back to belief, man, because you know how it is in roofing. The first 3 months, everybody's like, man, it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Dude, are they gonna really pay you? Like, all this stuff, and they have all these voices, and they let the voices of the other people that are not successful get in their head, versus me going, you could do it, and here's my story, and here's my testimony, here's his testimony, here's that. And they don't want to believe that. They want to believe, man, we need something right now.
So do you believe that failure matters?
Oh, dude, you have to fail. Man, I have 10,000 failures. I've got like maybe 3 or 4 real good successes, right?
Yeah.
Like, you only need one.
Yeah. So tell us about the one biggest failure that changed your whole entire thought process in the way that you move.
I think my biggest failure, man, was that whole losing my son thing, man.
Yeah.
That fucked me. That was out of my entire life.
Yeah. That was the one.
Someone taking, him going to a foster care, me going here, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All this stuff. It's like, it's worse than a Mortal Kombat fatality. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro. Like, it was bad, dude,
Yeah. So what do you feel like, let's go back into the business.
Yeah.
What do you feel like changed the direction of your business the most? Not personally, things that you were doing within your company that had pivotal changes of where you were scared and you really were hesitant to sacrifice to make these changes.
A big one was merging companies with Naaman, right? I didn't know how. We look back at that and we were like, we got lucky. Like, you know what I mean? Because that could have went like, you know, we were friends and we went so fast. Like it was like we just went and then it worked. You know what I mean? It's like a relationship, except you're already moved in with each other. You know, like we had already like merged everything and we were like, man, if we weren't like this, like, thank God we have like the same values and the same chemistry or, you know, but when Naaman came in, he taught me he had been in the Army for 13 years.
Yeah.
You know, and then he showed me the power of like people, like, you know, because I will tell you, for the first 2 or 3 years of running a business, I was like,
screw everybody.
Ball. Like I needed to score every touch, because that's how you are.
Yeah.
And when you start a business, especially from $5,000,
Yeah.
I kept throwing the $5,000 in, $5,000. Like, you know what I mean? I don't need, and one thing can sink your ship. And so by the time 3 years goes by and I meet Naaman, I still have this same mentality, although I may have different financial perspective, right? And he's like, dude, you can't score every touchdown, bro. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? He's like, you got to trust other people.
Yeah.
He makes this joke all the time. He goes, bro, who hurt you?
So,
like, a lot of people.
so Naaman was a real big part of you opening up your company into
1,000%.
development. I would even say, just listening today, he helped you come up with his military background, understand systems, discipline, structure, and of course the SOPs. But most of all is leadership.
Yeah.
Because like you said, from coming from the streets, you're the guy, hey, I get everything done.
Right.
You listen to what I say.
Right.
You get the money, everything flows well.
Exactly.
So when you're talking about leadership, man, you got a lot of good things about leadership, but you also have a lot of bad things about leadership. Yeah. What's the loneliest part about leadership? And why do you think that people are scared?
The loneliness.
He said, the loneliness.
It's the, you know, like I would say, like, you know, when you reach certain levels, right, certain people aren't there. You can't have those certain conversations with people no more, man. You know, I had friends here. I outgrew those friends. Those friends told me to go fuck off. You know, you get here. You got new friends. Those people tell you to fucking get here. You know, and the further up you go, it almost seems like it just the path gets narrower and narrower, and there's less people and less to talk about and less things. And you know, me being an only child, I always love to be around people. I'm a people pleasing person, bro. That's my fucking problem, dude. I got a people pleasing problem, man. Like, I just like to see people laugh, smile, like all that stuff. You know, motivate people. But that's not always the best way, right? And so, like,
so let's talk about the other way, the stuff that a lot of people don't see leaders do as far as sacrifice. You have your beliefs, you have your morals personally within yourself, as Jay Miller, which we already discussed. Emotional intelligence connection. Yeah. When it comes to leadership, how do you deal with that?
You have to really draw a line between business and personal, man. And I just did this like maybe a year or two ago, dude. Like I started becoming less emotional about like, this is a ship. This is how the ship runs. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like personal on you, but if you don't fit with the ship, like, it's better for you to go find another ship. You know what I mean? Like, it's not in the first 3, like I had friends working for me, right? Like, you know, and you're like, yo, dude, hey, can I talk to you? Hey, I was just thinking, you know, I was like, man, like, I was thinking, like, you haven't really made much money in the last month. You know, like, what are you feeling about? Like, you know, like, I was that guy, right? Now I'm like, yo, dude, it's just like, it's better for you to go a different direction, you know? And it takes a little bit of courage to do that and have those hard conversations. But when you really have, you know, when you have 60, 70, 80 people underneath you that support you and love you, that when you do get a bad apple in there, like,
they'll boot them out.
You feel supported and go, yo, no.
They'll boot them out.
No, because now everybody's looking at you on how you handle this guy. You know what I mean? And you got to handle it in a certain way, because you never know, man. Like, one of those 80 people that work for you right now, that might be a conversation for that. And how you operate with this person, those people are going to see. And so you have to operate in a certain, like, avenue where you're not like, yo, get the fuck out of here, right? Or, you know what I mean? And you also can't be like, man, hey, you know, like beating around the bush, right? But you have to treat it with the professionalism and tact, where everybody sees that it was handled from a mature, unemotional basis.
Standpoint, yeah. And it's funny you say that because a lot of people will try to make it out for you to be the bad guy, especially because it's emotional for them.
Yeah.
And they feel like that you owe them something. Mm-hmm. And that's something that I'm dealing, man. And the entitlement eats me alive. Like, man, you don't understand. I had one of my good friends message me, and it was just like, man, let me come work and this and that. I'm just like, nah, bro. Like, you're not gonna fit within the system. And even with me, you know, I'm super hard on it.
Yeah. Like, no, I know you are. I know you are.
Bro, I still struggle with empathizing with people because, man, and it's hard for me to kind of, I always have to like talk to myself through this is because I'm like, man, when I was in your same position, I didn't make the same excuses that you made.
Yeah.
And it eats me up a lot because I'm like, I don't think you have the core root of the problem is, like we talked about earlier, you don't even believe that you can make it out of that situation.
Yeah.
I always believed that I was going to make it out of that situation. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why good things came from it.
Absolutely.
So you got to be able to attract the energy, and in order to attract the energy and results you want, you have to believe within yourself to be able to put that out.
1,000%.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. Let's discipline and obsession. Mm-hmm. What's the difference? Whenever you first started your company, would you say you was obsessed, right? Yeah. Like that's all that you want to eat, breathe, sleep, and that's what you want to do. Then
don't die.
Don't die. Go hard. Don't die, but go hard, right?
I swear the first ABC trip I went on, this guy had been in business for like 15 years. He was winning and roofing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, bro, it's my first year. Like, made it through my first year. Like, I'm on the trip. He's like, man, that's a big accomplishment, blah, blah. I was like, what would you give somebody advice like me? He goes, man, just don't drown. And I said, just don't drown? He's like, nah. He's like, man, he's like, just stay alive. Just don't go out of business and you'll make it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, but now, like, when I think back to what he told me, I'm like, it's like some wisdom that he told me. Cause I was like, dude, like, there's gonna be years where you're not fucking, like, you know, killing it or whatever, right? Yep. You make shit happens, whatever it is. But no matter what, do not die. Just do not drown. Just stay alive long enough because the tide is gonna turn. Mm-hmm. You know, you're gonna be able to stand on your feet and just make it through those tough times and just know that there's like something, you know what I mean? Just stay in business. It'll get easier, you know?
Exactly. So what would you say the difference between discipline and obsession is?
The difference between discipline and obsession, man. So discipline is doing what you said you were going to do, whether you feel like it or not, right? And obsession, I believe, is like where you go, hey, like, this is not, they're not even really in my world, like included in the same box. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Discipline, that's just keeping your word to yourself, right? Like, and that builds self-confidence. Like obsession is like, yo, I have got tunnel vision. Nothing else fucking matters except getting this to wherever you were trying, or whatever the goal is. You're just like, dude, like squirrels don't even exist. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You're just tunnel vision, locked in, going where you're going.
So do you feel like you need to have a level of obsession to be able to gain success?
Absolutely, man. You got to be fucking crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean? You got to be crazy. And, you know, like and that's why I think failure is so important for people, right? Is because when you failed 10,000 times, like, you're not really, like, you've been losing, bro. So, like, it's like, dude, what? Like, losing, like, you know, I remember knocking doors when I first got into this, man. I was like, people were like, man, I got this whole neighborhood. People told me, no, fuck off. And I'm like, bro, I have nothing. I don't give a fuck if this guy told me. My life is not going to get any better. You know what I mean? Or worse. I'm like, come on, dude. And that's how you have to operate, man. It's like, you can't, you know, that's what the failure teaches you, is that failure is not bad, right? Is you're always gonna, there's repetition, iteration, right? Repetition is doing the same thing over and over again, and then you got iteration, which is like something happens to you, change a little something, and you do it a little different than that the last time, right? You get a little bit better. You know what I mean? And like that's what you need to be focusing on, especially if you're not out there winning right now, right? It's like every failure is teaching you something. It's teaching you either you're not ready, right? You're not ready to walk through that door. And so learn the lesson, learn all of those 10,000 failures, because there's 10,000 lessons there, right? And all those 10,000 lessons, all of a sudden one day you win a Super Bowl and people are like, yo, you're an overnight success. You know what I mean? But it's like, you didn't see that shit in the background, bro. You know, you didn't see all that, dude. Like,
so what was one of the biggest growing pains within growing Miller Storm?
Man, being honest, so there's two. All right, I will admit. I will admit. When I met Naaman, I was tired. I was feeling a little defeated.
You just worn the fuck out. Yeah.
Because I was like, bro, I keep teaching people everything, and then they just keep becoming my competition. You know? And I didn't know how to like tweak. I even thought Naaman was gonna do it to me, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like Naaman has proven himself 10 times, thousands of times over that, you know what I mean? We're locked in. Like, he's one of the realest people I ever met. But the biggest lesson for me was being able to trust people, even though I've been backstabbed. That was like the biggest, like, when people backstab you, a lot of times you're like, man, I'm not doing that again, or I'm not getting that relationship again. And he's like, bro, you have to trust somebody again. Like, you have to. Like, when you walk out of the room, don't put your ear against the door. Like, you know what I mean? Go to where you're going.
Yeah.
You know, stop trying to, like, bro, you like, if they're going to do you wrong, that's on them. Like, you're doing right by people, bro. Like, you shouldn't feel insecure by you doing right by people. You're doing nothing wrong to people. You're being ethical, moral. You want people to win. Like, if those people want to slice your throat, like, that's on them. That character trait is going to sink their battleship over time. So like when people hurt you in business, you got to trust leadership again. Like you will have somebody, a leader, whatever, somebody really close to you, like fuck you or fuck some shit up in your business, or you know what I mean, or won't talk to you no more because now you're a business owner, or whatever it is. There's so many different stories there, right? But you still have to trust that like you can't scale a business by yourself. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what are you not gonna grow now, bro? You're not gonna get into a relationship
because you're scared.
Yeah.
And I will say that's been one thing about me that I'll even say on camera now, man, is I have a hard time trusting people.
Yeah.
And it's because I've seen it so many times. Hell, even with you from a distance.
Yeah.
I don't say much to anybody because I'm really great at the visual on watching and paying attention.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to learn from other people around me of what not to do and what to do.
Right.
But within the POV of me looking at other people's lives and their story, I always have to remind myself that that's your story and your path. Regardless, you're going to have to go through the growing pains, right?
Yeah.
So the growing pains of the business and the growing pains personally as you and yourself, how does that affect your family lifestyle at home?
Ooh, man, it's never perfect, man. It's never perfect. I have 5 kids, a beautiful wife. I've been married for 6 years. You have to make sure that when you go home, whenever you go home, that you do not go home on 0%. You have to go home with battery save mode, 20%.
Yeah.
I've learned my lesson showing up with nothing. It's a very empty feeling because you're like, man, I'm hustling, I'm doing all this stuff for my family, and then you get back, you're like, yo, I can't throw the ball.
Yeah, you can't throw the ball.
You know what I mean? And I'm like, dude, I'm doing all this to be a father, to have freedom, to be with my kids, for them to have a better future. Bro, my kids don't want stuff. They want time.
Yeah. Valuable time.
They want me to listen.
They want you to be present.
Yes, they want me to be present. Yeah. They want to see me in a good mood. They want me to walk in the door with a smile on my face. I'm very cautious, bro. When I start to hit 25, 30%, I'm like, yo, I gotta go.
You gotta go home.
I gotta go, bro. Like, I gotta go. I gotta get back to my house. Like whether it's 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, the time don't matter. I know my spiritual clock, like I'm like, bro, that shit took everything out of me. That's it. Cause it's a marathon, man. Like Nipsey said, man, this thing is a marathon. You gotta keep a consistent pace. You know what I mean? You're not gonna become a $27 million company overnight, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're not gonna be. It's not all gonna happen, right? And Rome doesn't burn overnight either, which was another lesson. I had to learn, right? Rome wasn't built overnight. Well, don't get destroyed overnight.
Yeah, ain't gonna get destroyed overnight, man. I'm asking you these questions, man, because anyone inspiring to get to the level of success and run a business the way you run, a lot of people miss out on the things that happen behind closed doors. The mental state, you setting boundaries personally within yourself and your company, and going back home to your family. These are the things that people need to see and what they want to hear.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's not easy at all. And speaking on the marathon thing, it's so crazy. I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking to Andreas about it. I was like, dude, I said, I'm a big Nipsey Hussle fan.
Yeah.
And life is a marathon. But within the marathon of life that I do, I live my life as sprint break.
Yeah.
Sprint break.
Yeah.
Sprint break. So it's continuously over and over again. So I'll go hard as I can possibly go. The more I get in shape, the longer I can actually go hard in a sprint, right?
Right.
So I'm training my body and my lungs and my spirit and my mind to be able to do those things, to take on more.
Yeah.
And then whenever I feel myself getting that attitude, not enjoying being around people, not being mentally present within a conversation or things like that, I'm like, okay, I need to get away for a minute.
Yeah.
Then whenever I get away, I'm like, dude, I miss pouring into people. I need to go back. So it's kind of like a cup pouring. Like whenever I have a tendency to do this, I'll go book a random trip and I'll get gone for 5 days.
Yeah.
Knowing
you have to.
Yeah, knowing dang well I probably won't even last a 5 because I'm like, I got to go back and get to work. But that's whenever my cup is full again.
It felt like a 5 day.
It felt like a 5. I was there for 2.5.
Feelings are facts.
So man, you got a lot of things that you can pour into people. Tell people where they can find you at and how they can contact you.
Yeah, man. So you can reach out to me on Instagram. That's probably the best way. At Roof Dr. J on Instagram. I'm Jay Miller on Facebook, so good luck there. And then if millerstorm.com is another way. You can also reach out to me via email. It's J Miller, the letter J, Miller at millerstorm.com.
There you have it, guys. Man, this guy's a phenomenal leader. He has a phenomenal system and team that he has going on. We never even look at each other as competition, even within us working in the same industry. Man, I just really want people to find out who you are to the core. Yeah. And that was the purpose of this. We will be doing more. Of course, we're actually, I'm thinking about doing a series with you, man, when it comes down to sales, door knocking, objections, and things like that. So, man, I really look forward to you. I look forward to the time and the things that we can put out, even in the industry together, as far as the creative minds and our different perspectives of how we look at things.
100%.
Man, I appreciate you coming and speaking on the show, big dog.
Yep. Thank you for having me,
to the future.
Bro.
Guys, if y'all need to contact us anyway, we do have the casting studios, of course, that we're in right now that anybody can rent out. So if you got some things that you need to say, or you got a face that you want to show, y'all feel free to reach out to us. Official D Ford on Instagram. And then also you can reach out to us at Your Favorite Roofer in GC LLC. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Yeah. Look forward to the next one.
Hell yeah, let's get it.